Hi Andy, thank you for coming on the podcast. How are you?
No worries. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Yeah,
Good,
just
good.
back from my shop. So yeah, feeling quite excited.
Have you got back from the shop, did you say?
Yes, I'm having a shop in the Merrion Centre just over Christmas, up probably till middle of January-ish, maybe end of January. So I've just been in the shop today to sort of put stuff on walls and start to kind of get it ready for customers and kids and families, hopefully.
You know, when it's opening.
Yeah, it's Monday today, probably Wednesday or Thursday. Um, and then it'll be open all the way through Christmas. I'm gonna have workshops, little art workshops for kids and stuff, and then obviously my stuff on sale as well, and that, and little things they can come into the shop and contribute to. Like I've got like boards up saying like, my favorite, what's your favorite Leeds goal, and they can come and write. It was, I don't know, Tony Yeboah, or well, if you're of a certain age, it's going to be Tony Yeboah, isn't it? If you're a kid, it's going to be. I don't know. What's it going to be? Some Pablo goal, or I don't know, something more recent.
Yeah, that Swansea goal, maybe.
Yes, that one. God, that was the one, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did you watch the game on Friday?
I haven't got Sky, so it's too expensive. So
Yeah.
I sort of do that horrible Russian roulette thing of following it on Phil Hay on Twitter on my phone, and every scroll down is like having the gun to your head, isn't it? Where, and it's going to say goal Leicester at any moment, and and then when it says goal Leeds, you're sort of in shock, and you're like, I don't believe it. I think Phil's lying. Um, but yeah, hell of a result that.
Yeah, very good win on it. Yeah. It's just a shame that kind of well, they might fall off a bit now, but we're running away with it, won't they? So Leicester.
Yeah, you can't see him dropping that size of a lead. It's happened before, Newcastle all them years ago, and but it's us in Ipswich, I think, in it, and you'd like to think they might, falter a bit because of their inexperience and all that kind of stuff. And the irony is, I'd love to see Ipswich in the Prem. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be great. And when I was little, I remember Bobby Robson's Ipswich. I was only little, but that was when I first started watching football, and he brought them two Dutch lads over, Tyson and Muren, I think. And that was really exciting as a little kid. Foreign players in England, do you know what I mean? It were kind of all exotic and stuff. And they had a really cool Adidas kit as well. So I've always got a bit of a soft spot for them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see different teams in the Premier League and competing and stuff.
Yeah, my mate's a Luton fan, and he has been all his life. And to see how happy he was when they got promoted, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
his lads are like 8 and 9 or something, and he sent me pictures, and they've never seen Luton, in Prem. So it's great, and it gets boring when it's just the usual suspects, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So you know for your Leeds artwork, but what came first for you, Leeds United or doing art?
Oh, Leeds United by decades,
Oh, really?
because yeah, I started going to Leeds when I was 10, I think. First game when I was 10, and then properly started going when I was, mid-teens, and then, proper got the bug then when your mum finally allows you to go, without, with your mates on your own sort of thing, and standing on cop, and it's, so loud, and it is addictive, that, isn't it? It's a cheesy thing, but you see the big green pitch and the noise, and Ian Baird banging in some diving header. Do you know what I mean? And but I didn't start painting. I'd never painted before ever. Um, I was I always liked design, like I said about them kits. I always liked the look of stuff, whether it was clothes or I loved music, so record sleeves and trainers, and um, and but I'd never painted before, and I didn't do any art at school really, and didn't do GCSE art or anything. So the art only started when Bielsa came, really, I think.
Oh, really? Yeah, that late.
Yeah, yeah. Started painting over a few. No, I started painting over a few boxes where I live in Burley because of graffiti and swearing on them, and it was pretty horrible. Um, and maybe a year before, but they were pretty rubbish. They were really rubbish, if I'm honest. And then it was only when Bielsa came, I thought, oh, I might do a few Leeds ones. Now we've got a little bit of hope, a tiny light at the end of the tunnel, because he gave us that, didn't he? So I think it was almost subconscious that, there was a bit of something to aim for. And I just thought, yeah, why don't I do some Leeds ones? He's loading it stadium. So that's how it started, really.
Yeah, we'll get on to Bielsa that later on. But before you went full time with the art, you were a school teacher, weren't you?
Yeah, primary. And you have a specialism as a primary teacher. So mine was PE because I did that at uni. I went to Trinity and All Saints and did primary ed stroke PE. Now I'm a teacher since, was it 98? I graduated, I think. Taught in Horsforth, Pudsey, Belle Isle, Winmore. And then I did like full-time PE teaching for a while, training teachers to teach PE better. Yeah, but not much art really, no. It's just once a week doing Sunflowers by Van Gogh again.
Did you enjoy the job though, being a teacher?
Yeah, I did. It was lovely, and it's an amazing job teaching because it's never the same. Every day is different, Kids are hilarious, It's incredibly rewarding at times, incredibly rewarding, but it's exhausting. It's absolutely, I've never been as exhausted in my life. People still say that, you do 9 till 3, and you have to bite your tongue and, bite your hand and bite your arm. And, I was doing 65 hours a week, 70 hours a week, I'd say. And then all day Sunday, planning, marking stuff. And by end, I was absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
And I've done labouring jobs, and I've done physical. I delivered wheelie bins for 6 months, which we'd have to have 10 wheelie bins in a tower, and you get them off the van and deliver them to a street, and and that like going, heavy stuff. And I was less tired doing that than I was teaching. But yeah, it's just how it is, isn't it? It's just the job. And at the end, I think I was too knackered to do it properly. And if you're not doing it properly, that's not fair on kids. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I felt I wasn't giving it everything at the end, and that's not good enough in my, most people's eyes. So I thought it was time to step out of it, really.
Do you still do bits with schools? Because I saw on your website something with the Leeds United Foundation.
Yeah, so I go into primary schools on my own and do like art workshops, and then Leeds United. Yeah, I work with Leeds United Foundation doing similar in primary, and then we go into secondary schools also doing this thing called Positive Choices, where there's like 5 of us guest speakers, and there'll be one ex gang member who'll go in and talk about don't get into gangs. There'll be an ex criminal who's been in jail and for knife crime, and he'll be trying to encourage kids not to go down that route. So there's 5 or 6 of us do that, and we sort of rotate through the day, and I do the art with them. So they'll have kind of 5 workshops, and then they come and do some art with me, and we do like a little street box thing, and either base it on the other sessions they've been in, or just base it on something positive, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit of light relief because the other sessions are quite intense. Do you know what I mean? But it's dead rewarding. That's great, and it's nice working with older kids, teenagers, because I didn't have much experience of that. So it's quite nice because you walk in and they look at you like you're dirty, teenagers, just like, oh God, who are you? I hate you. And then by the end of it, going, oh, they were all right, actually. I enjoyed that. You think that's a win,
Yeah, yeah. Who gave you the nickname Burley Banksy?
I think it was me. One of my mates tried to claim it, and I thought, is that true? I think I was painting him on one day, before Leeds United ones, and he said, well, you're gonna have to write your name on it because that's what people do, don't they, on a piece of art or whatever. And I said, well, not. And he said, like, you're like a crap Banksy. You're like the crap version of Banksy. You're not rich, you're not famous, and you're not anonymous. So I said, well, I live in Burley, so I just, Burley Banksy, alliteration, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't. It wasn't meant to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't meant to mean. I wasn't meant to make a living out of it, I hope. So, but I suppose it works, doesn't it? Because it's alliteration.
yeah, it's a good name, isn't it? When did you start getting noticed for your work?
I think it was Leeds United stuff. I would say. I think, and then a bloke painted over all of them. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Some bloke painted over 10 of the Leeds United ones and sent these really weird, quite sinister emails into the Evening Post anonymously. I know. And
What
it
did he
was,
paint? What did he
oh,
paint over?
he said he was part of a group called Leeds Residents Against Street Art or something. And these these things were a disgrace to the city, and only 2% of the city likes football, so it's not right. And he was going to keep painting over them forever, and he painted over them in this thick sort of almost bitumen stuff, so I couldn't repaint them. He said, and it was really weird. I mean, and they couldn't even find out where the email came from because it'd be properly kind of blocked, encrypted, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
It did get a bit sinister, but then that were on front page at Evening Post. I
Jeez.
think it were a slow news day. And then an half a paper were dedicated to it that day, and people writing in going, "No, we really like them," and then that's when Leeds United rang me up and said, "Right, we'll give you some money to repaint them all." And then a year later, I started working with Foundation, and so he did me the biggest favour ever. That guy.
Yeah.
And I did repaint them all, and so it completely backfired, and he kind of helped me to make a living out of it. So if I ever saw him, I'd buy him a pint, ironically.
Does he not heard up from you since then?
No, and he never did out since. So yeah, but he really helped me. So, sometimes if you're horrible, it don't work out for you, does it?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah. Well, I think your street art's really good, but do you ever get complaints over it? I know you've said there somebody painted over it, but
Very occasionally, like one person people stop all the time if I'm painting and go, "Oh, nice one, I love them, keep going," and then we have a lovely chat. And occasionally, I mean, we're talking like 1% of the time, someone will go, "I don't like them. You should stop it." And I said, "Well, I'm covering up graffiti. Did you complain about the graffiti?" And, well, that's not the point. But it's literally just, there's always going to be somebody who's going to, you could have, people complain about Marcus Rashford for feeding children, didn't they? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So you're always going to get somebody, aren't you? But I've learned to kind of just put that out of my head now and listen, and listen to the majority, which is usually really positive. So
Did Open Reach paint over some of the boxes you did?
yeah, I've done some in Rothwell that weren't even Leeds United. They were just like, "Hello, Rothwell," and very, non-controversial. There couldn't have been more. And 3 people complained in Rothwell to the local councillor out of, I think it's 25,000 people who live in Rothwell. And so BT painted over them. And then it caused this huge PR disaster for them because then everyone emailed BT saying, "We want, stop being miserable. We want the art back." And it was really funny because it went to like boardroom level of national BT, apparently. It was like David, was it David against Goliath or something, or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
And it ended up with them having to back down. They paid me, not much, but they paid me to redo them. I made them give a donation to a kids' hospice. And they got something like 6,500 emails in a day. It really, I mean, you have to laugh, really. But again, sometimes if you're not very nice, it comes back to bite you, doesn't it? And it's just that thing of a massive company being out of touch with normal people, I think.
Yeah.
And we just had a pandemic, and I was hopefully cheering people up a bit, and I did it all for free, and they thought, no, you're not allowed to do that, and you just think, God's sake, do you know what I mean? You've lost your human touch, haven't you? And yeah, but that's all. That's all gone now, thank God.
Yeah, well, it's mental that people complain over it because it brightens up the city, doesn't it? It's that little like touch that just helps the city.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? And especially as most of the time I'm covering up graffiti, but they don't complain about graffiti. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's obscene graffiti as well, and and you think, well, why is that okay? Me just painting a funny thing or some flowers on there. Why is that bad? I don't know. But there you go.
How long does it take you to usually do one of them boxes?
A lot longer than you think. Because usually you have to go and do the background, one colour, and then it's got to dry, and then you've got to go back again and do a second coat, and then you've got to wait for that to dry, and then you do your main design or whatever. It's usually like 3 trips to the box, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. I don't know how much time it is if you added it all up, but like I've been doing some in town at the moment for a men's mental health charity. And I did all the background and everything, and then I did all the background twice, so it was all double. And then I went back to do it a couple of days ago, and somebody had scribbled all over it. So now I've got to go back again, do the background again, and then go back again. So it, stuff like that sort of puts a lot of extra time on it. So yeah, but usually about 3 trips, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Did you do any of the big murals around Leeds? Like of Bielsa and stuff like that?
Only the Bielsa the Redeemer one, where he's like
Oh yeah.
me and Nick Dixon did that one. It was mainly Nick's design, really. The Supporters Trust had never asked me to do any of the big ones. I don't think they're that keen on my stuff. I don't know. But yeah, the big ones, I think they get thousands, them lads, don't they? I think they get a lot of money.
I don't know.
I think so. But the big Bielsa at Hyde Park Corner, that's amazing. It was done by some Polish international artist guy.
All right.
But that was a multi-million-pound property company who did that. He said he paid for that. So, but I'd like to do some more bigger ones. I've just done one in Leeds Market for this men's mental health thing.
Yeah.
It's not enormous, but it's like a big sort of wall in the market and stuff. So that was quite cool. I think that turned out all right.
Do you get much backing from the club with your artwork?
Well, yeah, they were really good at the beginning. Yeah, and obviously the foundation sort of signed me up to do stuff. I'd like to do more stuff in the stadium. I've put loads of ideas forward, but it's always been sort of put on the back burner. I was meant to do a big LGBT mural, sort of equality, diversity mural in the Cheese Wedge.
Oh yeah.
Running along the whole back of the wall of the Cheese Wedge. And I've done all the designs for that. Had loads of meetings about it, done all the designs, did about 4 or 5 different designs for it. And then I don't know what's happened to that now. I haven't heard anything for ages. It's been a year. So I don't know whether that's still going to happen or not, because they'd prepared all the walls for it as well, all white and stuff. So I don't know what's happening. Maybe, I don't know. I've sort of sent emails, but I've had no reply. So
yeah, obviously 2020 was a tough year for a lot of people. But what was that like? It was a strange year for Leeds fans as well, wasn't it? What were it like for you?
Well, I live on my own, so it's not lockdown wasn't brilliant living on your own, obviously. But the art helped me because we were allowed to go out, weren't we? Once a day or something, I think, weren't we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I went out and painted every day.
Oh yeah.
So that kept me sane, really, because I couldn't really see anybody. And then, of course, getting promoted and not being able to sort of be there was classic Leeds, really, I suppose, isn't it? But
Yeah.
we did go down. Everyone went down when West Brom lost that game, didn't they, at
Yeah,
Huddersfield?
against Huddersfield, yeah.
I didn't go down to the second one because they told us not to go, didn't they, to the proper celebration
Yeah,
at the end
yeah.
of the after the last game, but then they put on an open top bus.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. In a way, I wish I'd have just gone, but yeah, it was strange. But we'll always remember it, won't we? Because of
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
the situation and stuff.
Is that like one of you big highlights supporting Leeds said that?
Yeah, I think so. I saw us get promoted in '90. Obviously, I remember that like it was yesterday. I saw us get promoted, win the league in '92, which,
Yeah.
when you think of it, is ridiculous, isn't it? To get promoted and win the league 2 years later. I mean, it's like, no one's done that since, have they? It's like Luton winning the Premier League next year.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it? But I think it was more of a bit more of a level playing field in them days,
Yeah,
maybe.
not as much money in that.
Yeah, yeah, and you could keep some of your good players because the wages were as insane. So, and then there was a chance. So, Champions League time was brilliant.
Yeah.
But I genuinely don't think it it's ever felt as good. I don't know, just generally when Bielsa was here,
Yeah,
just the
everything
feeling of
except
it
was better,
all.
didn't it? Everything was just better when he was there.
Yeah, just the feeling of it all was just amazing, and we'd waited 16 years for it to be any good, whereas I suppose we've never waited that long for
Yeah.
improvements, I suppose. So, um, it was pretty special, yeah.
You go to games then, most games, or
I go to all home games, yeah.
yeah,
I don't go. I used to go away all the time, and now I can't afford it, and
it's a
it's
lot
so
of money in
expensive.
it.
It's a lot of money, and I ain't got as much time on the weekend to do it. And you can see it's virtually impossible to get tickets. I really do miss going away because it's always brilliant going away, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And we all used to go in my van because my van has like 6 or 7 seats, so it'd be like 3 dads and 3 kids, all singing along in the van and stuff. And we had some brilliant times. And we used to sneak into the convoy of all the Leeds United coaches in my little van. And so you then get like a VIP escort to basically to the turnstile. They shut the motorways for you and everything. And when the kids were little, when they were like 7 or 8, they loved that. It was like being in the USA president's convoy. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we went up to Middlesbrough way and they shut the motorway, and all the Borough fans are giving it this cheer because they have to sit and wait for you to go past in this convoy. And we sneaked in my little kind of minibus thing, and you get right to turnstile at race. And even when you lose, you just have a laugh and a sing song on the way back, don't you? So,
Yeah, it's good following Leeds, isn't it?
yeah, it's
It's
always
one
good
of those
laugh.
things. If you don't, you like don't understand it as much, do you?
No, I think it's a totally different atmosphere away, isn't it? And it is for
Yeah.
fans who come to Leeds, isn't it? It's fun, away fans who come to Leeds, they never sing at their own stadium, but they always sing like mad
Yeah.
when they're away, don't they? Because they're having a day out and all that. So it's always a good laugh, isn't it?
Yeah. Were you at that Stoke game, Bielsa's first game?
Do you know I wasn't? Because at the last minute we got a gig. Because I
Oh.
played in bands all my life, and for some reason, was it a Sunday that
Yeah, I
game?
think it was it. Yeah.
We got a gig Sunday. I was like, oh, brilliant, that's fine, yeah. And then they went, no, it's Sunday lunchtime. I was like, are you joking, aren't you? It's Leeds game on its first game under this new manager, Bielsa, and apparently, I didn't know that much about him. I knew vaguely
Right.
who he was, but apparently he's really good and he might have transformed the team. But you just thought, well, nah, it'll just be the usual.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I remember texting my son because we had a little interval in the middle of the gig. We're playing in Harrogate. And I was going, oh, is it the usual? And he went, no, no, Dad, no, it's not the usual. No, something weird is happening here.
Yeah.
And I texted my mates, and they were just full of expletives, going, "What the effing hell is going on here? What's happening? It's the same team. What's happened to Luke Haley? Stuart Dallas has turned into a world class player. What is going on?" It was the first game I properly saw was the next away game against Derby,
Yeah.
and that just blew my mind. I didn't. I just couldn't understand it. It was just insane what were happening. We turned from the Rose and Crown pub team to Real Madrid, and I just couldn't get my head around it.
No, straight. Did you ever meet Bielsa or ever see him?
One time, yeah. So when all my boxes got painted over and the club got in touch, they very kindly gave me and my son Danny like a VIP day thing. So before the game, we were in the tunnel and stuff, and when the players arrived, so we got to meet him. Yeah, and he's the only person I've ever had a selfie with in my life.
Really?
He's the only person I've met loads of players, and I've met people I admire in the music world and all that, and it's lovely to meet him and have a chat, and but I'm not asked about selfies and autographs. I've just never been asked about that kind of stuff. But with him, I actually thought, no, I need a picture of this. Yeah. I need it for my, just posterity, and I'll put it on mantelpiece kind of thing. And I've never been like that with anyone. I gave him a little. I wrote some out in Spanish saying thank you for giving us hope again in Spanish, and I couldn't say this particular word. It really long, and he started giggling, and he said it for me, and then he said, "I keep." And he put this bit of paper in his pocket. Yeah.
Did he have like an aura around, like about him?
He did have something, yeah. And my son said when he walked past, before we met him, he walked past and he came back. And he said, "Dad, you made a weird noise." I said, "What do you mean?" He said he sort of just went, like a a girl fan of the Beatles or something. I don't know. I don't know what came over me. I've never been like that before. He is a unique fella, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he had a unique effect on people. When I do my stalls now, selling me stuff, right? People come and buy stuff, but 50% of the time they just want to have a chat about Bielsa. It's like a counselling session. And people just want to talk about how much they miss him and how wonderful he was. And we've never had that with another manager before.
Nah. Well, I was going to say, did he kind of inspire you to do the street work? Because he was always about making the city better and stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it were almost subconscious that there was this bit of hope now, and I love the fact that he had morals.
Yeah.
There are no morals in football, are there? Let's be honest. There hasn't been for a very long time, and there's not many morals in the world generally. And he sort of showed you that you could be a top of your profession and earn, loads of money and all the rest of it, but not be an arsehole. You could be really good and do good stuff with it and be a good role model. And, as a dad, you just go, well, just to your kids, just be like him. Do you know what I mean? Just be like him and you'll be all right. There's not many people in football that are role models, really, are there?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Some of the players are good lads and all that kind of stuff, but I painted a box that just said, "What would Bielsa do?" And if in doubt, be more like Bielsa. And so many people said they loved that box because it was just true, really. If in doubt, be more like Bielsa.
Well, there were that time we had the players out picking up litter, weren't there, to show like how they earn money to come to a game, fans.
So. That's right. He said we worked out how many hours a fan works to afford a ticket on average. So, and that was first time he met first time he had the players at the training ground. I think. I mean, talk about setting his stall out.
Yeah.
And that I think that made them quite humble, didn't it? They were a very humble group, weren't they? There were no egos in that team.
No.
Nobody was trying to be better than anybody else. There was no Willie Nonto type stuff of refusing to play. None of that nonsense. And that's got to be one of the reasons why we went up, because it was a proper team, wasn't it? It really was.
Yeah. Well, I've supported Leeds. I went to my first game in 2005. And from then till Bielsa, I'd never seen like team and fans being so connected.
No, I don't. I don't think we ever in my lifetime. We loved Wilco. He got us promoted, and we won the chuffing first division as it was, but we never felt as good about the club or about the manager as that few years. I said to my Danny, I said, Dan, when we got promoted, I think he was 16. I said, I think this is your Leeds United life peaking here, sometimes, really, because you might live to 80, but I don't think you'll ever experience out quite as good as these few years with Marcelo, really. I'm afraid to say that your football supporting life has hit its peak already.
You do like Leeds prints and canvases. Was Bielsa one of you like most in demand?
Oh yeah, totally. In fact, I started doing the canvases of him, and I must 70% of my canvases must have been of him. I did the one on his bucket and the one where he crouches down, and that was it. And then I put him on Christmas cards, and that, yeah. My canvas sales when he left, plummeted.
Yeah,
Really. I need to find another canvas that's as desirable a design. I need to come up with something that's as wanted as a picture of Bielsa. Do you know what I mean? Because it was, yeah. But I do these I miss him ones now. I came up with this I miss him design with
yeah,
just a little lonely bucket and I miss him in the corner. And I've sold loads of key rings and fridge magnets and little prints of that. And when he left, I did a Marcelo memories print with all the things that I loved, all the little incidents, like that time he hugged Bamford on the training ground, and the fact he used to put his woolly hat on the wrong way around and a bit skew with. And I did this list of just all these lovely things I love about him. And I remember that day, my phone just pinging constantly all day with sales of that print.
yeah,
It was just ridiculous. Yeah, in the end, my mate went, "Will you turn your chuffing phone off because it's doing me head in now?" Because it makes a noise every time he sells something. And it was just constant because everyone felt the same. Do you know what I mean? It were,
yeah,
yeah. As much as I love him, he is good for, well, everyone's business, I think. Um, but yeah.
I've seen on your social media that you've said you do stalls. Is that where most of your work sells, or is it mostly online?
No, 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 sell it online. Sell it in a few shops. Um, um, and then I do commissions sometimes and all the workshops and stuff. So my wage sort of comes in from about 5 or 6 different angles, areas, if you like.
Yeah, what's your favourite street art that you've done?
Good. Probably that in Bielsa We Trust one became quite well known, didn't it? And it were on Sky and it were on Match of Day. That was quite exciting when you
Yeah,
watch Match of Day on live and then your works on Match of the Day. That were quite. It's not my favourite design wise, but I'll always be sort of grateful for it. I like this LUFC thing I've done recently. It's based on a 60s design that used to say love, but I haven't sold that much of that really, but I really like it. Um, and the street art wise, I did on Lowfields Road. There's these 4 little metal pillars that are in the road as you walk into the Lowfields Tunnel, and nobody knows why they're there. They've been there for about 50 years, and they were just rusting horrible. So I just painted them up and turned them into the promotion team of 1990 sort of memorial posts or something. I don't know, and put promotion 1990 Sergeant Wilco's Barmy Army on them and put all the players' names on them. And they don't actually look that brilliant because they're just little metal posts with loads of writing on them. But I just thought it was quite cool to sort of transform them from something that were pretty rubbish into a little memory for people, really,
yeah,
for
yeah.
older blokes who were there.
You do a lot of Leeds canvases. Do you ever get requests from other teams or things like that?
Yeah, I got not many, but I got a request to a Sunderland one, a Liverpool one, and there was some other team, one Man United. I think it was Sheffield United or something. And I said no because I said I'll never live it down, and I'll maybe never sell another thing ever again because Leeds fans will hate me. So I thought it would be best just to
Give that one
say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a couple of non-football ones, and pictures of people, families, things, and but yeah, to do another team, it just won't feel right. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It feel very strange. And I might have to use red paint, and that'd freak me out. So
Yeah. Did you do that Stone Roses one behind you?
yeah, I did actually. Yeah, it was just I'm gonna do some sort of Leeds United Stone Roses stuff actually.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, it's I just did that myself and in colours in my room sort of thing. And then stuck some lemons on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I saw the Roses first time around, you see. So
Oh, did you?
yeah, I saw them at Leeds Beckett, Leeds Poly, it was called then. Saw them at Spike Island. I went to that.
Were it good, Spike Island?
It wasn't as good as everyone says.
Apparently the wind blew the noise out, did it?
The noise was terrible. They were using a PA system like my band would use if we were playing a pub. Do you know what I mean? It was ridiculous. You couldn't get a drink. It looked like it'd been organised by their mates, essentially.
Yeah.
But it was exciting to be there because it was like the pinnacle of that Manchester movement, and you were so excited walking down to Spike Island for it. It was like our little Woodstock, wasn't it, I suppose, and it had my flares on and all that kind of stuff, and my Rennie hat on and all that, my bucket hat, and yeah, it was great. I've got pictures of it. We took a disposable camera because no mobile phones then, so I took a disposable camera. I'm really glad I did. I've got like pictures of us and stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't remember that much about the gig other than I couldn't hear a bloody thing.
Did you see the reunion? Did you ever go to a reunion?
I went to one. Yeah, I wasn't that keen on it really. I'm not really that keen on the reunion stuff. Because sometimes it just ruins your memories a little bit, when some fat bloke comes on stage and he and the Roses were all right. It were nice to see him, and it was lovely to see him back together. And they sing. Ian Brown can't sing. He's dreadful, utterly, utterly dreadful singer. And when you're young, you don't notice it as much, I think, because you're so excited. And then when we were there as a bloke, an older bloke, you're like, oh my God, Ian, this is like, it's like a walrus shouting into a bucket here. This is up. You've had 20 years to have a few lessons. Come on, you know what I mean? But it was nice. But I didn't keep going to all others that did, and now Ian Brown sings to a backing track. Apparently, I mean, it's embarrassing.
I saw that. Yeah, on his solo tour. Yeah,
that's just dreadful. That. But yeah, it was exciting to be part of all that. I went to see him at Blackpool as well, Blackpool Ballroom, I think it was, and that was great. Yeah, well, there we go.
Yeah. I saw him in 2016 at the Etihad.
Yes, I think I drove my mates to that gig in the minibus.
Oh, yeah, the minibus, yeah.
They all paid me so they could get hammered, and I could have had a free ticket for that. And I just went, I can't be bothered going in. I'll just go have a walk around Manchester for the evening. So I went around Manchester and then drove them back again.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't that bothered. And my mate came back and he said, "My God, his voice was so bad that I couldn't focus on the songs, kind of thing." But I loved Rennie, the drummer. I'm a drummer, and Rennie was my favourite drummer. Really, he was a genius. So
yeah, he's a good drummer. And that gets got my next question actually. Are you still in a band with Premier League referee John Moss?
We were going to get it back together. We started rehearsing. We were in a band in the 90s, me and Mossy. And then when he got his record shop, obviously that were a good story for TV, wasn't it? For sports channels, referee. Then they asked us, we were going to get a band, we started rehearsing, and they were going to almost make a documentary of it or something, and then we're going to do a gig at the end, and they were going to film the gig, and then COVID came along and ruined it all, and then I don't think we could be asked.
The moment had gone.
Yeah, I think the moment had gone, but we had about 5-6 rehearsals, Um, yeah, we had a few decent tunes actually.
What's he like,
But
John Moss?
John Moss is all right. He's Mossy. He's I hardly see him now because he's hardly ever in the shop anymore.
Yeah.
He's retired from reffing, but he's actually sort of part. I think he's referee trains, advises referees now or something. He had to make an apology to Wolves when they had that when they played Man U and they should have had a penalty, and it said apology from John Moss. So I think did he wait for that PGMOL thing or something?
Oh yeah, maybe.
I think so. But I haven't seen him for a bit actually because he's off. Weekends he's away doing refereeing stuff. But yeah, that was a good time in the 90s. That yeah, we were the first band ever. This is true. I reckon our band was the first band to ever play Wonderwall live
Really?
ever because we got a demo of the album about 6 or 7 months before it came out.
How?
Somebody we knew worked in a record store, and he knew somebody who worked at Creation Records, and we got this copy of the album months and months, and we thought, oh, we'll start playing this. This Wonderwall song's quite nice, bit of a new kind of vibe for Oasis, and we started playing. And the irony was, you see, we do these gigs and people go, "Yeah, your band's all right. I like that Wonderwall song, though. That's quite good." And we were like, "Oh yeah, well that's a cover version." But people were already, tuning into that song, even when it was played badly by us. Do you know what I mean?
That's the joke now, and it gets played by everyone. Like if you've got a guitar.
Yeah. But you could tell that song was going to go massive. As soon as I heard it, I just thought, just the lyrics in it, maybe you're going to be one that saves me. Think, right, that's a universal lyric. That's going to mean something to every boyfriend, girlfriend, everybody in the world, kind of thing. And Liam's voice sounded so nice on it, and it was a bit different, so it would appeal to more of a mass market because it was gentler. You knew that was going to send them stellar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you ever see Oasis?
Oh, loads, yeah.
Did you?
Saw them in a pub. Saw them in a pub in Leeds. We used to have a venue called the Duchess of York, which is now Hugo Boss shop.
Yeah.
Down near Market. That
What
used to
many
be
there that gig? Well, that Duchess of York one, it was like empty, wasn't it?
No, they played twice. They played one gig to nobody,
Oh yeah.
and then a couple of months later, it was pretty full
Oh really?
because the buzz had started a little bit. It was just before Supersonic came out, but we'd started to hear about them. So it was quite full. I mean, it only held 200, maybe, the Duchess. I don't know. Maybe less. But I saw Blur there, Verve, Charlatans. It was where all the bands would do their first tour when they first got signed on their way up.
Yeah.
So you got Manic Street Preachers. I remember seeing them in there. Really small venue. And then I saw, the next time I saw Oasis was I think it was a stadium at Main Road. And that
You got
was
Main Road then 2 nights.
Yeah, I went to the Main Road one. Did I go? They played at the Irish Centre. I honestly can't remember if I went to that or not. But within I think it was about a year and a half, they'd gone from the Duchess of York pub to Main Road Stadium.
Yeah.
It was such a quick, rise. But they were exactly the same in the pub. Liam was exactly the same. Liam was exactly the same as he is now. Yeah. And I only knew like one song, I think, because we hadn't really heard their stuff at that point.
Yeah.
But,
What was my next question? Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Being mates with John Moss, do you find it hard to slag your referees off, or do you know what?
sometimes it's a bit. I tend not to. Like lately. It's been terrible, hasn't it? It's been, that and the Luis Diaz goal was so embarrassing, and that audio was so embarrassing. So, oh God, I just didn't text him. I just thought I'll just get a mouthful back. But sometimes I'd say to him, John, why is the referee giving that decision there? It's obvious that that's not right. And he'd go, I honestly don't know. So I can't explain it to you.
Jeez.
I can't tell you why he's done that. But I know he does, he has had terrible abuse, and it's when his kids are getting threats and his wife's getting threats. You're like, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute here. And he refereed the Championship final as his last game, and is it Huddersfield didn't go up. The other I can't remember who went up. Brentford go up instead. I can't remember. And he didn't give a penalty for Huddersfield or somebody, or was it Villa?
Forest, Nottingham Forest.
Was it Forest?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah, but then he got millions of bad reviews on his website for the record shop, just made up nonsense.
Jeez.
So he got about 400 of them. Because he hadn't given this penalty, or he had given this penalty, I can't remember. But they were ludicrous. Just like, I went into John Moss's shop and he threw records at my head and poured coffee on me. And you're like, well, these are obviously absolutely nonsense, aren't they? But then his ratings on TripAdvisor plummeted. So it did. Stuff like that's not. It's kind of funny, but it does affect his business.
No.
But when his wife's getting a little bit scared, you think, hang on a minute, do you know what I mean?
Too far.
It goes too far, doesn't it? And
yeah. How did the Burley Banksy beers come about?
Kirkstall Brewery contacted me. I'd done a box that said, Kirkstall Art We in Kirkstall. And by chance, the font I'd used was very similar to their font of their logo. And because they're Kirkstall Brewery, they said, we should do something. So we did that All Kirks Like We can, and then the Bielsa can. And then we've done We All Love Leeds, haven't we? And Leeds cans as well. And the We All Love Christmas one as well. And so I'm hoping we'll do some more after Christmas in different colours. I was suggesting that we do it in the away kit colours and stuff. So people might buy 3 at once or 4 at once because they get home kit, away kit, third kit. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, it's a bit weird that when you go in Morrison's, you go, there's my cans. Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, they were quite big at start, at one point, weren't they?
Well, everybody wanted the Bielsa one, didn't they?
Yeah.
I kept getting pictures. People were using them as toothbrush holders when they'd finished and cutting the top off and using them as little vases and stuff, little Bielsa vase, which is quite nice, really. And Bielsa has seen my I Miss Him print,
Has he? How do you know that?
Yes, I know that on good authority, and I'm going to send him one. I'm not allowed to talk about it because he likes to be so private and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to be sending him a little I Miss Him print. And I sent him a Vamos one once before and got a lovely letter from him, which is in my kitchen now in a little frame. He's written to a lot of fans, hasn't he? And, but yeah, it was so lovely. So when I'm a bit miserable, I go look at my little letter from Bielsa and it cheers you up, doesn't it?
Yeah. It was bad how they got rid of him, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, and he was genuinely upset, he genuinely was very, very upset. He cried when he got sacked, apparently.
Yeah.
So, but he'll never come back, and I don't think he should, really. I don't think he can ever come back. And I'd love to see him come back just to, just have a kind of wave at everybody in the stadium kind of thing. That'd be nice, but I don't think he'll ever come back to managers. And
no, it's like the reunions, and it's better in past.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I don't mind seeing the odd tribute band because I always used to hear, I'm not going to see tribute bands. And then I got really drunk once and went to see, I don't know, the Smiths, and absolutely loved it, actually. So, maybe. But loads of people do love going to see these reunion bands, don't they? So, and if I was in a famous band, I'd probably do the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's fun. Well, I'd like some reunion bands. It's a chance that if you were never there, you get to see it.
Yeah. I'd like my lad to see Oasis. He really likes Oasis, and obviously he's too young to have seen them, so it'd be great for him. And if you're in, I don't know, Shed 7, they're doing really well, and you think, well, why not? They're probably going to earn more money from that than their normal jobs that they've got now. You can't knock them.
No, exactly. Well, staying on music, have you ever thought about selling music canvases?
I've got a few ideas, yeah, for sort of football. Football and music goes so well together, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
like I said, I've got a few ideas. I haven't done them yet. I need to get around to it. But there's lots of people do purely music stuff though, and I don't think it's almost like a crowded market, if you like, and it'd have to be sort of so original, wouldn't it, to stand out really. So I don't think I will too much, if I'm honest. Um, but
Uh,
yeah,
what we say, sorry?
I said there's plenty of places you can get like lyric prints, can't you, with lyrics from famous songs, and
Yeah.
and it's kind of all been done, hasn't it? So I think it'd just be me sort of copying other people, really, which I don't want to do.
Well, you've told us about your this new shop opening soon. Have you got any other exciting plans for the future?
Hopefully, get that mural done in the stadium. And when the 49ers come in, I'd love to do more in the concourses, and the stairwells and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to, and I'd do that for note, really. Do you know what I mean? Because it'd just be nice to do. Um, I've got a couple of maybe big murals in the pipeline, big-ish murals in the pipeline, but I'll sort of talk about them if I always want to make sure things are definitely happening before you sort of, you talk about them and stuff. So I was meant to do some at Headingley Cricket Stadium, and then I don't know what happened to that. I did designs for that, and that then they never got back to me. So you never want to talk about something until it's sort of 100% happening, really.
Yeah.
I've got millions of ideas for street boxes. I'm doing a big thing on Kirkstall Road with some like a homeless charity as well, with some homeless lads who have sort of been helped to get their life back on track, and we're going to do some like hoardings, big hoardings, and they're going to do it with me and stuff. So that'll be really good. But we're going to have to wait till the weather is a bit better for that, sort of springtime.
Yeah.
So that'd be really nice to do, though. That. And I've got millions of ideas for my little boxes in the street. I've got millions of ideas. I want to do an Anchorman one because I love that film. So I've already got some Anchorman kind of ideas related to Leeds and stuff. It's completely
Okay.
ridiculous. It's completely stupid. And I'm not going to sell them. I'm not going to sell them or anything. But I just think there'll be loads of blokes driving past, laughing, just quietly laughing to themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they see a Ron Burgundy street art box.
You, is that your main priority, doing what you want to do instead of what anybody else wants?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because I have to make money. Don't This is the thing now. You have to earn a living, don't you? You've got bills to pay and all that kind of stuff. But the street art boxes generally, I just do for fun and hopefully to make somebody laugh, and just from films that you love and songs that you love and things that cheer you up when you're stuck in a miserable traffic jam on Kirkstall Road, kind of thing. So I do get it's really lovely when some bloke comes up to you and just goes, "All right, miserable today, and I saw that box you did. It really made me laugh, and it reminded," and that's priceless, really, isn't it? That's just really
Yeah.
nice, and that cheers me up more than earning a load of money. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
should probably be a better businessman, really, but I'm just not very good at that side of it, really.
So our last question is, what do you think about this season? Do you think we're going to go up?
Oh God, see, it's Leeds United, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't. We could be 28 points clear with 2 games left. Mathematically impossible that we don't win the championship, and I'll still be thinking we're going to blow it. We're going to blow it. So it's Leeds United. They've broke my heart too many times. It looks like we could catch Ipswich. But it's Leeds. What could happen? Rutter could break his leg. The West Stand could spontaneously combust. I don't know. It's Leeds United. So I'm enjoying it. That's all I'm bothered about. I'm enjoying it. Didn't enjoy it last year. I'm enjoying it. I enjoy watching the football. He's done a great job with them as Daniel.
Yeah.
Players are enjoying it. The fans are enjoying it. And even if we don't go up, it's not that terrible, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's not that terrible. I'm thinking maybe 2-year project with Farker, really. But I'd like to think Ipswich are doing brilliant, but you think, will they sort of falter at some point and can we catch them?
Yeah.
But if we don't go up, I don't think I'll be devastated, to be honest. It's nice to be able to compete in a game again, isn't it?
I'm going to say, even though we're in Championship, at least we're getting beat 5-0 every week.
I know. First season or two were great. Great for people like my son to see Haaland, Welling Road, Salah, Kane, world class players. That were great. And then after a while, even when it is Haaland right in front of you, thinking, well, it's 7-0.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying this, even though it is world class football. I'm not enjoying it. It's 7-0. And every game you were thinking, yeah, probably going to get beat today. And now you think, yeah, we're going to compete today. We might win, we might not, but we're going to compete. So
Yeah.
who knows what'll happen? But I'm enjoying it, and that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, as long as we enjoy it. Well, like you say, you never know with Leeds. Just beat Leicester 1-0, but they'll probably get beat by Plymouth at weekend.
Exactly. And we went to Stoke, didn't we, after a great performance, and we were dreadful. So,
Oh, yeah, really bad, yeah.
Who knows? I still love going. I love seeing the same faces, your mates. You have a chat. You have your pie. You moan about the referee. It's just you just enjoy the day. Do you know what I mean? It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. I've enjoyed that.
No worries, mate.
And I appreciate you coming on, yeah.
No worries.